back to Rick Knows Hoops. I'm your host, Tyreek. I want to thank you guys for helping me hit 100 subscribers. I just hit it yesterday, so I appreciate your guys' support throughout the process. And if you're new, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Trying to go to the channel, share the videos if you can too. Just help get the audience even bigger, man. We're trying to do big things here. It's an early upload for me. I usually upload at night, but I gotta rant. I gotta get this off my chest. I'm worried about my Boston Celtics. I'm very worried about them. They just lost to the worst team in the NBA, the Washington Wizards, pretty handily. Like, Washington was up 20 for most of the second half. I mean, very, very, very embarrassing loss. And I might be overreacting because as a fan of a team, you're just programmed to overreact to certain things. But I don't think I am, because I've been worrying about this team really since the offseason. I didn't think we had a good offseason personally. Like the Jeff Teague edition, I didn't think much of it, and obviously he hasn't done much of anything. I mean, he's just got a DNP coach's decision today. The rookie point guard Peyton Pritchard is much more reliable than he is. And then the Tristan Thompson acquisition, like, I thought it was cool, but at the same time I didn't think it was anything that was game changing. And we didn't address anything like depth-wise. That was one of the main issues last year, along with the center position, even though Daniel Tice was pretty good for us in the playoffs. But, you know, when you get to a certain point in the playoffs, you need like an elite rim protector, you know, available at your disposal. And we just didn't have that with Daniel Tice, even though he brought a lot of other things to the table. But with that being said, the lack of improvement at the center position, the lack of bench depth improvements, like, we only got, you know, we're a less deeper team this season, I would say. You know, losing Gordon Hayward and not getting anything back for him was a big time blow, you know, for our bench unit, because, you know, that allowed Marcus Smart to come off the bench. And also Marcus Smart being out right now is also a big time blow. I'm gonna get to that, but, you know, allowing Marcus Smart to come off the bench, run that second unit, you know, was big for us. And then if an injury did happen, like how it's happened this season with Marcus Smart going down, Kemba being out early, you know, we was able to slide Marcus Smart into that lineup. And we didn't really lose much, you know, from our starters, and our bench, we would just be able to hold it down just enough. And our starters were so top heavy that, you know, Tatum could run the second unit, or Brown can run with the second unit, or, you know, Kemba could run with the second unit, either or. But, you know, this season it's a lot different, you know, not having that, you know, that extra, you know, really solid player in your lineup. You know, we ran a lot of like Thompson and Tice together, which hasn't been great. It's been a lot of switching up. Semi Ojeley's been getting a lot of minutes. It's just, you know, Brad Stevens has a lot to figure out in, you know, a short amount of time. I mean, still a lot of season left, but at the same time, a third of the season is already gone. So looking at it from that aspect is really, you know, a major problem, I think. And obviously Marcus Smart being out right now is just big time blow. Like, you know, if you don't know basketball, I know I say that a lot, but if you don't like know and watch basketball, you don't see the impact that some guys like Marcus Smart have on a team. Like, they're just somebody that's like an ultimate glue guy. Like, they keep the whole team like together, like literally in the name glue guy. They just keep everything together. And, you know, it's the person that, you know, can guard like 1 through 4 in the defensive end like Marcus Smart can. He can legit guard 1 through 4 on most nights. And then offensively speaking, he's just another guy that can play make a little bit, and he's become a pretty solid knockdown shooter for the most part, like more reliable than he used to be. And some games he can give you like 20 points, which is, you know, big time. Or some games he can give you 8, 9, 10 assists, or, you know, 10 rebounds or 5 steals. Like, he just does it all, you know, on both ends of the floor. And having him out of the lineup for an extended period of time has really showed the flaws in the Celtics team. I mean, as great as Jaylen Brown's been this season, and Jason Tatum has been, even though Jason Tatum just had like his worst game of the season, probably the worst game I've seen him play other than that first game in the bubble against the Bucks. Like, this is probably one of the worst games I've seen him play. He just didn't shoot the ball too well. Really didn't do much well at all. He was in foul trouble too. It was just a very poor game from him. But, you know, like, as good as they've been, like, they've taken that next step. The rest of the team around them has been kind of lackluster. Kemba's starting to get back. He looked really good today. He's starting to look a lot better, so that's a good sign. But at the same time, it's hard when, you know, you need to have a solid bench. Like, you need at least like 3 or 4 guys off your bench that you can rely on. And I mean, there's a bunch of young guys on the bench that aren't ready to contribute to, you know, winning playoff basketball, which I'm assuming that's what the Celtics plan on being, is like a team that can make a deep playoff run. But, you know, I hate to say that I seen this in the offseason, but I didn't think it would be 13-13 through the first 26 games. I still thought they would be a good regular season team. I just knew come playoff time, you know, it's not going to be the same run that we had last year, you know, conference finals run. And it's difficult with other teams looking so good, like Philly's looking good. We know the Nets are going to, you know, start racking up wins. I mean, I'm going to talk about them in a second. They beat up on the Warriors last night. And, you know, the Bucks are always going to be there. You know, these are teams that, you know, can outmatch the Celtics really at their deficiencies, especially the Sixers and really the Bucks too, because they like to get the ball inside the paint and dominate the inside. And also those two teams are just a lot, like, you have more players that you can rely on, a lot deeper than the Celtics, and I think they match up very well. And then with Brooklyn, they just have the star power to really compete with them. But yeah, I think that's my Celtics rant for the moment. I'm just highly concerned for them, man. But I'm gonna transition. I just want to talk about the Nets real quick, because I didn't get a video out last night, and I wanted to focus on the Nets. I don't know if I said it in the video or not, but the James Harden playing point guard thing, Kyrie pretty much solidified that last night, saying it to the media, like, James is our point guard. And I don't know if I said it on video or I said it to like a friend in the group chat or something, but I've been saying that really since the trade happened. Like, that was my thought. Like, James should play point guard, because I think James should only have to really be James Harden when, you know, he's running with the second unit, or KD and Kyrie's having a bad night, which I think that's going to be very rare that both of those two have bad nights, if ever. But that, I mean, I think that's really the only time that should ever happen is, you know, James should have to get into his Houston Rocket bag and really start cooking. But I love that they're starting to get more comfortable playing with each other offensively. I'm glad to see KD's back on the court after all that contact tracing BS. I'm glad to see that. But yeah, I think they're gonna get it together, man. I'm glad to see that Kyrie just gets to do what he does best. He just gets to score. I seen Isaiah Thomas put it on Twitter. He's like, it's so good that Kyrie gets to play his natural position now and does what he does best, and that's score the ball. Like, Kyrie is one of the most elite scorers we have in the league. And then you already know what we're gonna get from KD. It's gonna be a lot of buckets. It's gonna be efficient. But yeah, good win for the Nets last night. I'm glad Draymond's okay. He went down with a knee injury. It was non-contact. Looks scary, but I'm glad he's okay. Because the Warriors definitely need him. But yeah, that's all for this video. I had to talk about my Celtics, man. Definitely worried. But once again, thank you guys for helping me hit 100 subscribers. And if you're new, once again, make sure you subscribe, leave a like. We on the way to big things, man. We on the way to big things. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna be back next time, though, y'all. Peace.